and also known as Agent Finn, and I'm going to teach you all how to draw a dinosaur, which you may or may not care about, seeing as you're probably about the age of 3, yes? No? Maybe? Anyways, when I was little, I had this awesome hoodie that had like dinosaur spikes on it. My mom got it for me. And I also had a pair of green sweatpants, so I was a really live dinosaur. I climbed in trees. I was awesome. And no one could convince me otherwise. I also really love natural history museums. I drew stegosauruses, and yes, this does say, this is a baby stegosaurus eating grass, and its mother has been shot in the leg. This is my mother's favorite piece of art that I have ever made. Anyways, so after that was when I was 3. Since then, most of the folks I know have kind of forgotten how to draw. You can see here I have drawn what looks like a backwards letter C. This is the beginning of your dinosaur. If you have a pen, you should take it out now. Because this is going, well, it sounds like we're going slow, but we're going pretty fast. Because all of you, during the time that, you know, those artist people have been learning to draw, you've been learning to write, which is really, really complicated. There's like a bazillion letters you have to learn, and it's really difficult when you're little. So your teacher is standing there and they're saying, don't doodle, draw, don't draw, write. You need to practice your letters, you need to practice your cursive, and then you learn this other thing called typing. And that just screws you up completely, because now instead of using your hand and doing like, this is a letter E, and then there's an X, it's like, don't look at your fingers, they're doing something completely different and building these words up here. Well, basically, all this time, you're learning how to think with words, and it's words and words and words and words and words. And as we've learned from our lovely slides up here, words are not the answer for conveying meaning. You need to have pictures, you need to have emotion. And this is all because we have evolved with this fun thing called fight or flight, which kicks in a bunch of chemicals when we are emotionally stimulated. And now, if that happens to you a couple of times in a row in a similar kind of way, you are going to remember that through a emotional reaction, and that bit, memory. But meanwhile, you're trying to learn all of this really boring stuff that doesn't really emotionally stimulate you. So what's the answer there? Well, my answer is drawing dinosaurs. And my dinosaurs can do all sorts of things, like drawing Kool-Aid. And they keep me from getting bogged down in all the boring crap that I have to learn and remember as a user experience researcher, because I'm really sorry, but some of the companies that I work for, like researching panty liners, and the absorption rate of one version of Kleenex versus another. This is not fascinating to me, but if I add dinosaurs to it, guess what? Now it's fun. Now I remember that 2.5% more snot is absorbed when I use this new version of Kleenex. It's fabulous. So what I would encourage all of you to do is to stop thinking in bullets. Because guess what? Bullets are for what? For shooting mommy dinosaurs in the leg. Bang, bang. And instead, start thinking with emotion. Start thinking with creatures that say, oh, hi, guess what? I learned something new today. And they'll tell you all about it. And you know what? After you've drawn him, you'll remember. Because there'll be some humor in there, and humor is emotion. You'll probably, all of you people who are laughing, you'll remember this. The rest of you folks who are sitting down there and looking at me with a grim face, you will not remember this talk at all, and that's good because you also won't bitch about it. You have no emotional reaction, and you're fine. This is also great for when you have these reactions to your boss who wants you to do something really dumb, and you realize that all your 12 developers are going to be really unhappy, and plus the customers don't even really like it. You can illustrate this and teach it to the stakeholders. If you're in a class and you're trying to remember that, guess what? Okay, Frank Gehry in 1982 did the Guggenheim Museum in Balboa, Spain. How are you going to remember that when it's in all that junk? Draw a picture. Your notes don't have to be beautiful. They just have to trigger your memory. You have to get used to drawing. Get back into it. Start with a dinosaur. This is about building a repertoire. It's not about being the best artist ever. You can work on that later. You can work on that down the line. You can add some color and hone your practice. This is called a sketch note. This is what I actually make money doing. Shocking, isn't it? And then when you go through, you can say like, look, so you see, you share and you learn, don't die. You have stories to tell. Oh, and by the way, I got a new dinosaur costume in Shanghai, so I'll see you around on the streets.